Oké, dit ziet er veelbelovend uit. Ja, nou doet hij het.
Hello everyone, my name is Hecthor Doomhammer, and welcome to another stream of Rise of the Reds. This is once again the 1.86 pre-release candidate, and once again I'm joined by the Hunter.
Good evening, folks.
Let's get some games going.
Indeed we shall.
Although it's been only a week, now that I'm actually working, it feels like a lot longer. Because there's definitely a massive difference in being able to stream every single day compared to just once, twice a week. What up? I'm a bit rusty. Now lube up the joint with some oil.
That's what you do.
Uh-huh. Miso versus Duch.
Yeah, W40. If it's supposed to move, use W40. If it's not supposed to move, use duct tape.
Yeah. Let's go with Rocky Shores. And Dutchie says, let me be your oil. Lol. Hecthor Doomhammer, it would be cool if you made a lore video for generals, for lore in a minute. Don't think I will. And hello CCCP.
It's actually referring to the, there's a channel on YouTube which does that, which occasionally asks other YouTubers to voice lore, portions. I'm guessing that's what she's referring to.
I didn't know that, but oh well.
Yeah, although I'm not entirely sure how that works. I can link you to that afterwards, the stream, if you like.
Sure, I'm interested in hearing that. Right, so hello Sir Phoenix, and sorry to hear that your head hurts. So, Miso as ECA, or Eka, versus Duchy as Gla.
But yeah, that particular channel is also just lore for basically everything. Movies, games, even tabletop games and stuff like that. So.
Tabletop games, okay. Well, I don't think I would be the best man to do General's lore. I'm pretty sure there are plenty of other people out there that will do a much better job than me.
They also did a couple of Command & Conquer, like Red Alert and the original Command & Conquer, which are pretty funny. Like, there's one guy who then animates it, like a little cartoon, and then somebody else narrates it.
Okay, perhaps.
Anyway,
I see a dog
Miso is sending a dog out to go hunt the lone worker there. Although
That
the work is quickly running into that bunker so that the dog can get it.
Of
Miso
course, the
responds by
worker
building
cannot
a barracks.
fight back. But I'm guessing the dog is gonna stay there and just guard the place.
Yeah, likely.
Yeah, it's cool to have you join the stream against your Phoenix. Righto. Dutchie with a vehicle arms dealer in the south central part, getting close to the edge of the map. Guard tower going up alongside the field commands.
Guard tower is staring at that bunker now.
We'll be joined by, I guess, a couple of Panzerfaust.
Yeah, well, he needs a vacuum warhead to actually do anything significant to the bunker, unless he wants to level the entire bunker. That's an option too.
Yeah, but Dutchie pretty much lost that area. Engineer now heading to the bridge, probably going to cross it and capture the oil derricks up there.
Yeah, that's, I mean, it's not like the worker can pull out a gun and start shooting, so...
Nope. And Dutchie captures one of his oil derricks. And it seems that the bunker indeed has been completely leveled.
Yeah, bunkers are the only civilian buildings that you can garrison up to the point that they are completely destroyed, whereas regular buildings, when they are heavily damaged, infantry will automatically vacate the building.
In the red, right?
Yes.
Yeah, just like in any other Command and Conquer game that I am aware of. I'm seeing a Lynx getting loaded up with some infantry.
I'm seeing the exact same thing happening on the opposite end of the map, but technical.
Oh. And I see a couple of quads getting popped out. Got 2 Lynxes and a Warhound heading to the north. And I guess the tactical didn't unload his cargo.
No, no, no. He missed his primary eco.
Yeah, his primary supplies. To the left of his base.
Oh, right. Yeah, he's only tapping into the large dock at the bottom.
Yep. Hey Neo, how you doing, buddy?
A lot of infantry to the north of Dutch's base.
Yeah, also a couple of quad cannons and a Scorpion tank or 2. And some salvage. I do hope we get to see some tier 2 salvage of the Europeans today.
Yeah, that depends on if Dutch's opponent will allow for that.
That is always the question. Well, a single whatchamacallit, spaghetti eater, and you got it done. Dutchy moving in.
A vehicle assembly was just built.
Yeah. Warhound digs in.
Infantry are running into range of the Duch nest, which is forcing them to relocate.
Uh-huh. Nope. Some more reinforcements. Just mainly quads and scorpions here.
Yeah, although the Warhound in that position is very well placed. Like that, you can definitely take it on with the units he has, but not without absorbing some damage, unless he kills it with the rocket buggies, as he appears to be doing.
Yeah.
First Leopard rolled out of the assembly line.
Uh-huh. 3 rocket buggies firing at the Warhounds. And I hear the airship dropping Lynxes.
Which now come preloaded with infantry.
Yep. Tunnel going up next to the Duch nest.
Yeah, what Dutch really wants is to get Miso out of that northern position, because if he manages to dig in there, that's going to cause a lot of trouble in the long run.
Yeah. I mean,
There isn't a lot that he can do about it right now, however.
not really. So what's gonna happen is he's gonna head straight into the line of Lynxes.
Yeah, which is a clever idea, because Adachi may have figured that if he's focusing so much resources on that northern area, he probably doesn't pay too much attention to his actual base, which in this case is somewhat true.
Yeah, there are 2 mobile layers over there, and now all of the infantry is popped out of the Lynxes. And there's the first Marauder. Cheetah goes down. Hey, water buggies instead. Fairly useful.
Yeah, mostly against structures or stationary targets like that particular Warhound there.
Yeah. One barrage of them and almost dead. There we go. What just happened?
Some of the infantry got recovered by the medic,
Alright.
which gives you a full refund.
And that takes care of the last of the lynxes. Couple of leopards being built up here in the north. Nothing gets done about it, and nothing gets done with it. Duchy, in the meantime, trying to amass some angry mobs.
Tear gas is being deployed.
There you go, oh boy. And Duchy moves out of the way well on time.
Oh boy, Miso's building mortar pits in that northern area. I was afraid he was going to do that.
Noticed this.
He's quite literally going to attack Dutch's base with his own base.
Yeah.
I do hope he has the canister rounds. No, he does not. Then again, there's enough stuff there to kill the mobs.
Yeah.
Oh, Jaeger is in there as well. No wonder the mobs died so quickly.
Okay.
Jaeger with his shotgun is absolutely brutal against infantry.
Yeah, I see Jaeger now moving next to the tunnel over here.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that Duchy just fully retreated from the central base over there. Still see him making marauders and a couple of scorpions.
And marauders are a good choice because they can completely ignore mines.
Yep. Banter.
And now he has some salvage that he can collect.
Yeah, if his opponent allows it. While Frank Jaeger is stealing some money. There you go, 2,000 gone. Speaking of, Miso sitting at 7,000 at the moment. Duchy at 2. And Duchy's going full Hamboni on the northern expansion at the moment. He needs to get rid of that.
Yeah, especially now that Miso is starting to build mortar pits and that. That's going to be really annoying.
But in come the tigers.
Oh yeah, and there's not enough anti-air to deal with that.
Nope.
It's just a single quad cannon there.
Yeah.
And even some heavy snipers.
Oh boy. Yeah, I think this might be the end for Duchy then.
Yeah, I mean
Although that one quad cannon is heroic there.
and fully salvaged. I mean, it's just going to do a lot of damage in a very short time, but the Tigers did wreck it before it could do any lasting damage.
Make the sneak attack use the old buildings? Or do they?
The sneak attack does use the old building models, yes.
Oh.
Ha! Tunnel defenders planting explosives on that assembly.
I see that. Barely did anything though.
Yeah, but at the same time that's kind of necessary because, you know, you cannot actually see them planting the explosives.
Yeah, okay.
They don't reveal themselves when they plant it, and it's on vehicles it's really nasty.
Kind of like the satchel charges from the Chinese tank hunters.
Yeah, except that the central charge is thrown and doesn't actually attach itself to the unit that it's just being placed on. Whereas one of the bombs used by the tunnel defenders can be planted on a vehicle and it will just stick to them.
Yeah. So I see an insurrection mob over here.
Yeah, Dutch, he placed that in his base to grow, probably.
In a little lynx attack, I guess, once again from the...
I wouldn't really call that a lynx attack, it's a little lynx attack that's fully loaded with infantry.
Yeah, definitely from the deployment zone again.
The lynxes themselves don't pose much of a threat, but what it contains certainly does, especially because there's medics with them that keep the infantry alive. Although German Kell is making it hard on the infantry though.
Yeah, I see him.
He's just ranking up the kills.
Sneak back tunnel, sneak up the devil.
Bulldog.
Ow. At least rank 2. And Dutch is calling the GG.
Yeah.
Well, Miso is floating with 13,000 though.
Yeah, but
Dutch
he had
plus
Duch
8.
firmly in his grip the moment he actually secured the northern area of his base.
Yeah, and Dutch of course forgot about his primary eco. So that definitely did a lot of damage. There you go. More tigers. And of course, tigers down. Now look at how big that angry mob is. Do we want to do this? Not really. German stinger missile. Yeah, well, Dutchy is having trouble just even recuperating from these attacks. Miso just keeps on going, he keeps on going. Knife control, air control.
Yeah, but the fact that Duchy also forgot to tap into his primary supply depot to start is also kind of a critical error on his part.
Yep. 2 more warhounds. 3 more warhounds. Versus a single quad.
Which will probably get away.
Yeah, definitely will get away.
Since warhounds do have a short delay before they can fire when they dig in.
Yeah, it's, that she is at tier 2. Yeah, look at the amount of tigers in Miso's base. That is still fun.
I don't think he'll need him. He can just finish the job with the tanks and the infantry that he has.
Yeah, that are moving in right now. Yeah, I see that.
Does he have canister shots? Nope, still not. That means they're probably all going to die to the angry mob.
Another instruction mob coming in. Oh, we have another tear gas strike coming in as well.
Yep. Now, if he had canister rods, he could just switch to those and just obliterate the mob.
Ooh, Marauders did get caught in there.
Yeah, but as long as they're not staying in the cloud, it's fine.
That's success for this week. I have cash, but no way to spend it. Well, at least he's building a Scott Storm. That's something. We haven't seen in a while. Another airship.
Now he's using the canister rounds on those leopards.
Oh yeah. Like a massive shotgun basically.
Yep, that's literally what it is. A 120mm round completely filled with ball bearings.
Ow.
Yep, that's pretty much how indeed.
Deze close anthrax. Or not. Which knows? Oh, that sucks. Is he gonna drop it eventually? Yep.
Too late, however.
And this is just a toxic problem, not even anthrax.
It is anthrax, however. It's
Oh,
just
the green version. I
It's the
always
green
thought
version.
that was just regular toxic.
yeah, toxins, anthrax, same thing really.
Roll truck. Yeah, those tigers are just smashing the base apart.
Until Jamaica comes to say hi.
Uh-huh. Hey, a couple of stinger guys, I think.
No, those were just regular RPG troopers.
Oh, regular.
Or
Okay,
tunnel defenders, rather. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because who was it again? Lawnmower wanted to see the new stinger troopers.
You have been defeated.
While they
Well,
were shown last week.
I did actually see a couple of them during this game, but they were hard to spot because they were mixed in the mob.
Ah. Tigers! Tigers everywhere! Nightmarish tigers. Ah, look at this. This looks much, much better.
Yeah, there's plenty of players now, thankfully.
Uh-huh. Less opportunity for us to play. Perfect. Zone 0 versus Celestia. The Path. That's a cool map. Of course. Oh. You can play as soon as I set myself to observe. Because I'm a stoop. Don't forget that. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Dewey versus Hunter 2015. Right, we got USA versus USA. Here's how this will go. This map, of course, has two reinforcement paths, one in the southeast, one in the northwest. Central west and central east we have the large supply docks and the supply stockpiles in the north and south central with an oil derrick next to them. And that's pretty much it.
Hello, Mr. Basilisk.
Hey Basilisk, how you doing, buddy? Right, so Zero opening with drones. Celestia opening with 2 supplies. Barracks and War Factory. So it's drones versus War Factory. Although Zone Zero hasn't gone for his supply dock yet.
No, he has not.
Nope. Yeah, dronage. Couple of missile defenders. And he's going for that right now. And I see a ranger head over to the southeast. Going to capture the reinforcements pad. Nothing is happening in the north yet. Celestia wants to get that too. But is retreating.
Where's the extraction point?
Oh. That's ended in
A stalemate.
yeah, kind of.
Nobody got the deployment zone,
pad. Yes.
or the reinforcement pad. Yes.
Okay, firebase coming up for Celestia, right up front. Detention camp. Well, there's not much else going on over there. Yeah, you should have played China, Dutchy. I mean, it's cool that you're gonna try something else, but really? China. Sub-Zero, this time going for the northern expansion. Celestia capturing the southern one. But Sub-Zero will go for the oil derrick that is over there in the south. And that Vanguard just got obliterated. Before I switched to China, GLA was my main. But that was pre-Rise of the Reds. I see. Okay, both deployments or reinforcement paths are captured.
Everything is different on Rise of the Reds when it comes to the main factions, as far as I'm concerned.
And there comes the first tank. But despite that, I still had a ton of fun playing the original campaigns, though.
Yeah, it gives you a bit of an insight in certain units and stuff.
Yeah.
You can also see that stuff looks quite different in Rise of the Reds in some cases.
Yeah, that was amongst the reasons why I wanted to have a look into it. Just to see how much they look different, how much they function different.
The Crusader is completely new in terms of design. The Paladin kind of still looks the same, but the model has more details to it.
Yeah, it's been updated. I noticed.
Yep.
And now goes the drone assembly plant. Celestia with a nice early attack. That's water.
See a single hunter-killer
Getting shot down.
which attempted to make a run but will now crash into the chain link fence. Yep.
A little bit of lag over here. The airfield is going down as well. There you go.
I'm hit.
And I guess that
And
Celestia
missiles
might
are not
already
going to help
have
you as
this.
long as there's at least one Avenger around. It certainly looks into her favor, yes. It's beyond me why she's pulling back, because there's absolutely no reason to. You can just keep pushing.
So look at the amount of Crusaders she has.
Yeah, I'm guessing a lot of those come from the deployment zone.
No, actually mostly from the War Factory, but there is a Viper trying to do some damage over there.
It's going to take a long time just with the machine gun.
Yeah. So Zero isn't going to win this one. I think it needs kind of a miracle.
Well, he is if that Avenger's going to be staying in the back and the Crusaders are just going to blindly drive into the rockets. I mean, they do have that machine gun, but it's not particularly effective.
The coaxial machine gun.
Yeah. I mean, the machine gun on the drones is even better than that one.
Whoa, do something! Huh?
Yeah, he doesn't have any infantry counters in, or she doesn't have any infantry counters in her attack force.
Nope.
Single microwave tank would do the trick. Oh, I see a Starlifter has been built.
Oh, Celestia, what are you doing here? Wasp hives. Okay. Well, let's try that approach, eh?
It's not particularly effective, however.
Well, for wasp hives. There's the microwave thing.
Lawnmower is coaxial machine gun. It's basically what you refer to as it's like a small machine gun integrated into the tank turret, which is like right next to the gun barrel.
If I would zoom in, could I see it or not?
Sorry?
If I would zoom in, let's have a look. Can I see the gun?
There is actually physically a small nozzle physically next to the gun barrel, but it would be very difficult to spot since it's quite small.
Yeah, I guess. Just a little dot over there on the top left, I guess.
It's actually on the. If you look at the front of the tank, it's on the right side of the barrel.
Oh, the right side of the. Yeah, oh, I do see it actually.
Yeah.
It's a little dot there.
Yeah, just a little stubby barrel, basically.
All right, Raptors.
Yeah, the Crusaders in the test builds and now the pre-release version do have coaxial machine guns, just like the Paladin and the Acolyte.
And a rank 1 carpet bomber coming in.
Yeah, that's gonna destroy that airfield and everything on it.
Yep,
That was definitely worth it.
absolutely. And a rank 1 A10 strike. I think that was the detention camp. No, it did attack it, but it didn't destroy it.
Yeah, it just blew up a power plant. Now the tier structures are pretty tough.
Yeah. So yeah, I was right. A couple of wasp hives inside of the Starlifter. It's moving out. We're gonna follow this. Just look at the Congo line of drones.
Yeah, it's gonna end up very expensive, however, if that Starlifter gets shot down.
Yeah. But it's gonna move. Oh my god, that actually... Oh, that is nasty.
If you have no anti-air, it's fun. Yeah.
That is so nasty. The mega was by. Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, this is just pretty free. Celestia could have captured the reinforcement path. She didn't. Right. War factory going up. It's decided to send to for bombardment. And actually, I think they reached to take down a couple of tanks in the front line over there. Got an Acolyte drop over here as well from Celestia.
Celestia should be doing is start busting out the Tomahawks, because I don't see a single protector missile system, and there's
oh, that A10 took out a massive amount of those tanks.
Yeah, that's to be expected if you parked them in the same area for more than 5 minutes. That carpet bomb is gonna get shot down. So there was at least like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Avengers. Yes, you can, Packy, because there's absolutely no way to change the way the leaflet mechanic works in what it can and cannot disable. And there goes the Starlifter and all of its drones. It's like I said, it's fun to do, but it's very expensive and very risky, and usually doesn't pay off.
Oh, that sucks. Because of course those drones are not anti-air.
Nope, they are not. And even if they were, I don't think they would be able to kill a raptor on a single run. Because they were so fast.
Nighthawk though. Got a couple of Crusaders moving in from the east. Not gonna do that much against those at least 2 fire bases.
It's a bit silly to send them meaninglessly to the death because you're just feeding your opponent general's points that way.
Wow, that ranger is quite impressive.
Well, Rangers are the toughest based infantry in the game.
Okay.
And that's a Crusader coaxial firing on it, which is a very shitty machine gun. So it doesn't matter if you have 3 or 15 or 100 Avengers targeting it, it's still gonna take a while for just to use a machine gun to kill it.
Yep.
And Celestia better start spreading out those units or moving them somewhere, because if they're gonna stay in that same spot, I predict there's gonna be a carpet bomber or another A-10 just blowing up a whole lot of them again.
Yep. And another A-10 of Celestia was trying to do some damage to the strategy center. And there are the Tomahawks that you were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
What? Where are they firing from? Over here?
Yeah. If you have search and destroy active and you're using the cruise mode missiles, which are you can fire a really long range. It's like comparable to ECA howitzers. The only downside, of course, is that you can really easily shoot down the missiles if you have the appropriate buildings to defend against them, but Zone Zero has absolutely none of those.
Nope. Well, now he has.
Now he has one, yeah. He built the Cyclops, yeah, but now he has to set it to anti-missile mode as well.
And he needs power.
And that as well, yes, that's quite important. And there goes another building, including all of the infantry inside.
Painful. Oh, that's the pilot. Yeah, Celestia is doing a nice little bombing run here and there. I like that. But the Tomahawks are not defended. But they're moving out. And these Crusaders have hover mode on. At least one of them has. Now both.
Another carpet bomber on the tightly packed base. Gonna kill the war factory? Nope. Barely. Oh. The Crusaders attacking the Tomahawks have been dealt with, so now you can continue the bombardment.
Yeah, we got 3 over here, 3 over there. And I guess another Acolyte drop coming in from Celestia. Or that was just a regular... Yeah, that was just regular supplies. And now she's just bombarding the...
Yeah, and the Cyclops has not been set to anti-missile mode because it's not doing anything about the missiles.
Nope.
Here comes another A-10. I think it's gonna kill the Tomahawks. Yep.
Yes. So Zero is pretty much out of money. And Celestia is pretty much out of money as well, although she has a little bit more.
And it's building drop zones as well.
Uh-huh.
And isn't forced into a corner. Makes kind of a difference.
Yeah, kind of. Celestia has both of the oil derricks at the moment. So that is her advantage.
Yeah, now it's just moving in.
Yeah, to the expansion over here in the west.
That other fire base was severely damaged, so you could just tank the damage from that one.
sound of the A10 is pretty painful on the headphones. Yeah, because it's also supposed to be painful when it hits you. That's actually what it is. The 30mm shells are 3,000 rounds per minute.
Yeah.
Oh, carpet bombing. Yeah, all the tanks in the middle.
Yeah. Just like I had predicted. If you're gonna present the enemy an opportunity to do that, then you can expect something like that.
Who needs Scuds if you have Tesla? Well, a funny discussion on the forums. There was a discussion about I believe it was just the men, Tesla versus
Edison. Yeah.
And my response:
I did see that, yes.
there are no Edison weapons, so Tesla wins. There's no Edison coil or Edison gun, but there is a Tesla coil, so Tesla wins. And Sub-Zero bringing out the power. Again on. Oh,
yeah.
taking the strategy center out.
And there is
the
a Spectre.
comes in. Going for what seems.
Oh. Well, whatever you targeted, because you can manually tell it to shoot at different targets.
I know. And here comes the TNT.
A little too late, however. It will keep the Spectre alive, however.
Now it will. Definitely. Nice combination there.
Or not.
I think it was pretty much at the end of the road.
Yeah. Did what it was supposed to do.
Yep. A lot of damage. Vincent are still alive though. But Sub-Zero is back to tier 0. Ah, fromage!
Bring all the croissants, the baguettes and the cheese. Oh, oh.
Oh. Yep. Keep on bombarding. Yeah, I think Celestia has got this in the bag. We've got a 2-point attack, also one from the east.
An enemy Spectre gunship is now coming in.
Oh.
Probably gonna kill all of those tanks there.
Yeah, that's going to be a great objective.
We need support.
One Crusader tank still alive over there.
Not going to last.
Nope. Acolytes. Omelet of fromage, no, omelet du fromage.
Actually, du fromage is incorrect from what I know.
Yeah, I know. But it's the cartoon. Omelet du fromage.
Yep.
Well, it seems that the single Crusader is still alive. Vanguard.
Mr. Vanguard was clever, he would take cover in that fire base. Oh, I see a rank 3
Oh!
A10 strike coming in, I'm not sure what it's doing for.
Airfield, no, drone assembly plant. Taking it out. Not doing that much damage beyond that though.
So let's
We've
just
got
deploy
another,
another carpet bomber, but
oh.
it got shut down before it managed to drop the payload.
Yep. Hey, Sores, how you doing?
Paladin snack bar.
Yeah. It's a joke I've been meaning to do a couple of times, but I was just like, nah. And a single drop zone, yeah. Okay. Well, we've got a couple of Vipers in the air at the moment. As more Crusaders move in from the east. Yeah, Celestia are really laying all the hurt here.
Yeah, but at what cost?
Another fire base will build up over here.
Yeah, well, now would be the time to... oh, no, never mind. Power's already back up.
Yep. She doesn't even have the rocket pulse yet. More stuff moving in from Celestia. Over the middle, but it stops. And strategy center going back up as well.
Yeah, no, he's pretty much broke now, however.
Yeah. And Celestia, well, she's been spending her money. She's at 3,600. Hey Silers, how you doing, buddy?
Good evening. Yeah, I think that might be the final push.
Yeah.
At least I hope so. This has been going on long enough.
It's been an interesting match for sure. It's kind of shameful that the Star Lifter thing didn't work out as well.
Well, I could have told you that beforehand, that it wouldn't. Simply that the Starlift itself costs, I think, 1,200. And every single wasp pipe also costs 1,200. That's like more than a 6,000 credit investment.
Yep, another 8
For something which is a little bit niche at very best. A rank 2 carpet bomber, but it's...
Danger close, I think.
Yeah, although it missed, it did take out some tanks. Not nearly enough to make it lasting.
Yep. A really nice game, I agree. And incoming even more Crusaders and a couple more Avengers. As the drone assembly plant is also getting rebuilt. She doesn't even have composite armor.
Yeah, but that requires the unlock.
Oh, okay.
But she probably should have gone for, considering the amount of tanks she's using.
Yeah. Well, would say it's a wise decision.
Come on, kill the barracks. There you go.
Kill the monkey. Oh wait, wrong game. Ah, good old times. Fire base. Oh, that. Actually, it is not never defeat, but never retreat. Soras. Panzer Elite, born to compete, never retreat.
Yep. Okay, here comes attempt with the star lifter number 2.
Yep.
Let's see if this one will be a bit more successful.
I'm guessing it will be, as she's moving it outside of the range of anything anti-air. And
there goes half the tanks.
Yep. And another Spectre gunship and TND coming in as well. But it's Sub-Zero Spectre gunship, it seems.
Yes. The TMD is from Celestia, however. Although that's useful now in the case with the tanks as well, because it's going to cut down all the missiles there.
Yeah.
Including the ones from the Spectre. which is
Yeah,
kind of
nice.
And there's the other Spectre.
Oh, there you go. Nice sight though, 2 star first. Or 2
Spectres.
Spectres, yeah.
Yeah, Spectre's an awesome plane. Especially, I really like the redesign that Mr. IPS came up with when they actually tasked him to do that.
And that's the end of Sub-Zero.
Up to the point that I actually said it's actually kind of a shame that it's only on the battlefield for like 15 seconds before it departs again.
Merry-go-round, it's called. Well, with that, I'm going to take a quick break. And after the break, we are going to continue with some more matches. Be right back.
Singing during the break. I don't really do a lot of singing, and as far as I'm concerned, it's against the rules.
And it is against the rules. At least on stream. You can sing on your own time if you want, but not during the stream. Right, next game. The Rebel.
There you go.
Versus Thing to win.
I haven't seen Trouble play before.
I have, but just not in a little while. Let's go to the front line. Let's have a look, see what where you go around. That was the end of where I last. Join my dark side. Woo. You know, to support Doomy. And then CCCP suggested the singing. Oh,
Yes.
I get it. Silly girl. Silly, silly girl. Anyway, I am ready. Sting to win, please. Treble is good with Russia.
We shall find out then
Uh-huh.
if Mr. Sting to win is actually going to accept the game, or I have a feeling that he may be ghosting.
Apparently his game crashed.
Ah, that is a problem.
There's your problem. Prepare for beating by Doomy? Nah. I wouldn't beat her up. She's way too nice for that.
I'm prepared, I can stand a lot.
Well, at the moment that is quite understandable. If you will accept Hunter, then we can start.
Yes.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes. Hey, Duke Wendy, how you doing?
She's CCP. It's one way to put it.
Yeah. Well, maybe we can do a 2v2 next round, depending on how long this one goes.
Sure.
Well, I'm up for a 2v2. We haven't had one in a while.
But one thing we should also do at some point is do a free-player free-fall. I don't think we've ever done this on the stream since the release.
No, we haven't. You're right. It's pronounced SSSR. What else? I say CCCP because that's what it says on the screen. Right, so this map. Bottom left, top right, we've got repair base. Top left.
Some random supplies in both all of the towns as well.
Bottom right we have oil derricks and indeed random supplies. Not in the top left and bottom right though.
No, you're right. Those only contain the tech buildings.
I know that Sting to Win is on the newer side of the PvP. Oh boy.
Yeah, that could mean painful for him if what the gentlemen say that Mr. Drubble is good with Russia is true.
Yeah, well, he's already starting to black out stuff. Fun early game GP.
Annoyance.
Yes. And there comes the first BMP. And the first Angaska.
Well, full throttle with Russians is still not very fast. Full throttle in the Sentinel is still going to be very slow.
And Sting to Win going for an airfield. As I see a couple of Humvees. One has been upgraded with a tow missile, the other... oh, two of them have.
Two of them have, and the others have been left normal.
Yep. But Sting to Win is taking a risky approach. As in the middle, west and eastern part, there are the large supply docks. He's actually doing some long distance supply collecting. Viperius. Will Birkins ever be able to fire missiles at tanks again? So
Nope, they will not.
Nope. It's not 10 rubles, but 30 rubles. Dmitry will get shot first.
Yep.
Poor Dmitry. What do they have against him anyway?
It's kind of an inside joke that Dmitry is like a guy who does everything and has to do everything for everybody else.
Oh yeah.
Which is also why he's called upon to hit the gas when he's in when you have a BRDM, or if he's supposed to load the gun when you're when you have a Rhino tank. With a conscript voice also refers to him.
Basilisk, we might do a 2v2 after this, depending on how long this takes.
Yeah, he's basically the guy that would be told to get coffee for everybody in the office as well. Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Right. So far nothing really has happened, players are just building up.
There's also ample amount of space between each player, so that confrontations aren't as likely that early on.
Yeah, another blackout node over here, radar going up, as well as the industrial plant. Two v2 v2. No, it's not impossible. It's just too hectic to observe, I'm afraid.
Also very difficult to get set up. Because there's bound going to be one person who is not going to connect, or it's going to start crash and start up, or something like that.
Yeah.
It's possible if you do it in public, because if we do it on stream, it's essentially an 8-player game, because 2 of us will be observing.
I see 2 raptors in the air.
Guarding that particular area.
Helipad going up for Drebel. And there is the star. Thank you, Dewey. Yay! Well, pumping out a little bit of everything. Said Tesla. I'm sad.
Tesla's entirely optional. It's not necessary to actually beat the game or your opponent. Unless your opponent is GLA, because in that case it's very useful against hijackers.
Alright. Both players at tier 2 at the moment. Search and destroy has been initiated. First Crusader spotted. And that is a Comanche. Still some long distance supply collecting. He could actually use that on the opposite side as well. Heinz, please. Hunchback spam.
You know, that would actually work, because there's absolutely no anti-air in Mr. Sting to Win's base.
Yeah. Par for 2 missile defenders. On the left side of the road. No, the right side of the road, I mean.
And to answer your question, Lawnmower, that crater was added there by the guy who made this particular map. This is probably someone at EA, because I believe this is an official map.
Could be.
The only thing that I changed about this is, I think, a few things with tech buildings and supplies. That's about it.
Okay. What crater, by the way?
The one just in front of the supply center from Sting to Win.
Isn't that from the surveillance missile that got there?
Oh yeah,
first?
that could also be the case.
I
Yeah,
think that's the case.
I didn't recall any missile landing there.
I did. Well, Sting to Win is actually collecting from the supplies over here. He's just using one Osprey for some long distance supply collecting. And speaking of supply collecting, he's now building up his secondary supplies.
Yeah, I think so as well, Seller. It's just, when is the fighting going to begin? That's the question.
That's the main question indeed.
Because right now it's basically the Cold War.
Neither player has captured the repair pads, and Sting to Win doesn't know about his oil derrick, while Drebel has captured his.
Speaking of cold water, it's actually entirely
The proper scenario.
Yes, but especially because the middle is basically just a heavily guarded fenced area with bunkers and towers.
Yep. He's got one of everything out there. Okay, so he's got 2 moustaches. And a grumble. So if I look at the money. 5,700 for Drebble. And stay to win at 1420.
MG Boris just took down an Osprey. And then he decided to get the F out before the Comanches killed him. Now he's gonna kill both Comanches.
Okay. There it is.
He's now being detected by a drone, however, and the Humvees are probably going to finish the job unless he can get out of the scan radius of that drone fast enough.
Which he won't.
No, but he already
But he did
paid.
take it.
He
Yeah.
paid off because he killed 3 Ospreys and 2 Comanches. That's I think 3 times the amount that Boris costs to recruit. So.
Uh-huh. Four Raptors that are doing absolutely nothing. Instinctively not even putting up a fight. Another barracks going up over here. Another war factory over there. Yeah, this is the moment where Drebel should just pump out war factories, a lot of them, and just pump out a lot of tanks and just steamroll. It would be over within no time. If you
Yeah, you're referring to what Lawnmower says?
yeah
Yeah, I was just to answer that. To answer that, the AI will always know everything and everywhere, where everything and everywhere is.
yeah.
And there's no way of fixing that though.
Oh. If you've ever played Red Alert 2 as the allies against an or against any AI, and you use gap generators, it doesn't matter if you use them or not because they're basically useless.
It technically also doesn't work against players because you can simply move into the fog of war anyway.
Yeah.
Except that the AI doesn't care for his losses. A human player does.
Okay, another Osprey got shot down. And there's only one Osprey left though. You didn't rebuild any of them.
No, I think this will be a very anticlimactic battle.
Pretty much. A single goal.
With Rebel just rolling over, Sting to win,
Yeah.
with little to no resistance of any kind.
Yeah, Rebel, sorry, Neo, you don't need to spam caps. Yeah, you can use it as a little bit of detection here and there. See you later, Sarah Phoenix. Thanks for joining.
Yep, good night.
Yeah, you got another blackout node over here. Shock troopers.
It's not going to work very well, however, if you only anti-air as a golem and a sentinel.
He has a grumble somewhere along. Yeah, he has
Yeah.
one at the back one there.
Yeah, though it's way in the back.
Yeah.
That's a bit of a waste targeting all the infantry.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, this is it. This is over.
Yeah.
2 airfields though. machine gun boards over there as well. Yeah. World War 3. Now that would be nukes then.
Not immediately.
I think if World War 3 actually happens, it shall be over in a couple of days. If they're gonna use nukes, it's gonna be over in a couple of days.
Of course, if they're gonna use using, it's gonna be over in a couple of hours.
Probably.
But as I was gonna say, I've actually looked up some documentaries which basically have prothesis of what would happen if World War 3 would break out. Like not like right now, but what if it would have happened if before the 1990s the Soviets would have attacked West Germany or something like that.
Yeah.
You have been defeated.
It would probably be like a month of regular conventional fights, and then eventually somebody panics or loses his cool, and then the nukes start flying and the world basically ends.
So I think it's time for the 2 versus 2 that people want.
Let's give it a go.
I'm all in favor. Open up a 6-player map. Hey, medics! With my car, yeah. Sorry, Dribble, you already played. And what I'm referring to is actually a little story that happened earlier today. I was playing some Terraria with Medix's brother, Malte. And, okay, we have enough players already. And Malte had to leave to pick up his brother to grab his car. Because Medix went to a party last night, got a little drunk and left his car. But he had to walk 20 kilometers.
Well, that's his choice.
I agree. So I say that, you know, because I was playing Terraria with Malte, I was just like, well, let him walk then.
Pecky, I would actually say that World in Conflict, although a very cool game, was probably not a 100% accurate representation of what that would happen. Like, they took some Hollywood in there to make the game more interesting for that sake. For instance, the invasion as they did in that particular game in the US soil, that would never be able to hold for longer than a few weeks. Because there would be no supply chain for the Russian invasion to keep them going. Getting supplies across the Atlantic is kind of difficult.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Or not the Atlantic, the Pacific. I think it. No, am I right in saying? Yeah, the Pacific Ocean.
All right. So places.
Oh, they mixed up the positions.
Oops.
Oops, yeah. Hello, neighbor. Fuck you.
Well, it would be fun to actually see a cross battle
Yeah.
instead of left.
Yeah,
and
but then it's basically a 1 versus 1 versus 1.
yeah, kind of. Right, so let's do this. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Does it work? Yes.
Yes, it does.
Except over Alaska. Uh-huh. Right, so it's NP and Medics, by the looks of it, versus Skittles and Basilisk. Double ECA versus China and Russia. Oh boy. And I have a feeling that I've seen this map before. In a different setting. Yeah, I know where I've seen this before.
This is also the original version of the map that I also played against Greyon on.
Okay.
In Attack Superior.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was referring to.
Yeah, except that obviously the one for Red Alert 2 is obviously a remake.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Or it was the other way around, that's also a possibility. I'm not 100% sure.
I'm pretty sure it was a remake, because I believe it was a 1 versus 1 map in that case.
Not sure about that, but it's not really important
No.
at the moment to discuss.
Hey Albandi, how you doing, buddy?
I'm seeing a confrontation in the northern area of the mountain where 2 defenders have just been built. Looks like it's gonna work out in MP's favor. Yeah, he managed to kill all the infantry before they entered the fortification, so that puts him on an edge right now, and that Keston's going to deny any infantry coming out of that barracks. There's also a confrontation in the
Southern part.
south.
You're absolutely right.
Something is not working though, however the fortification is not being cleared by the pyros, which should be the case.
Okay.
Like Maddox should have won that engagement, to be fair, because he could have the pyro should have cleared that fortification. It doesn't have any upgrades, so that's strange.
Okay. Well, War Factory is up north,
Yep, I see that.
and the barracks has been destroyed. Are these? Oh, listening outposts. Two Lynxes. Yeah, Lynxes have been seeing a lot more use.
I'd say that's a good thing.
Yeah. Agreed.
Albani says that his replies are not shown on the chat monitor. For the stream, that is.
Really?
Yeah. They are appearing in the actual chat, however.
Yeah, they're also appearing in the chat window on screen, though. At least on my end. Fight fire with fire or fire with ice as in Mortal Kombat. That would be fun. I got dragon tanks. Taking care of the field command over here. And up here, stuff is happening as well.
Just waiting for someone to actually figure out the idea from, hey, this map has water around it, maybe I can do an amphibious assault.
Oh boy, I wish I... Oh yes. Golems.
Not just golems, you could do the same thing with lynxes or BMPs.
Yeah, but golems are more fun, no one expects that.
Golems are very slow, however,
True.
so you can easily intercept them along their way.
True. But it's so much fun to be called a cheater for using such a tactic.
Yeah. I remember the same thing with a friend who actually got called a cheater when an overlord ran over above a couple of tanks.
Yeah, I heard that. I was just like, what?
Yeah, it's because it's such an underused feature that but a lot of people don't realize that overlords can actually crush vehicles.
Oh, true crawlers. Yeah, I was so surprised that true crawlers weren't amphibious in the original game.
Yeah, that's something that actually really bothered me as well, because the whole thing just looks like an amphibious vehicle by default anyway. The only thing different in Rise of the Reds about the troop crawler is the speakers on it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was the mission with the dam, where you had to blow up the dam as China.
Yep.
That I discovered it. I was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna cross the river over here. Wait, I can't? What?
Nope,
Stupid
amphibious
game.
things, amphibious units were not a thing in the default game.
Stupid game. EA. Why you do this?
Well, I'm glad enough that the code existed for that you could really easily make amphibious units, however.
That's good. What for marauder tanks using them for amphibious strikes?
Yeah, you can do that if you have the tech.
Uh-huh.
Well, it seems that everything has calmed down for the moment.
I don't know.
One thing you could do, for instance, if Maddox had a couple of troop crawlers, he could basically flank the south mid from the other side, where no defenses are other than a single sky shield battery.
Yeah, that would be funny.
Yeah.
Maybe it has an elbow defilter. Well, does it not display on your end, or does it actually not display on this area, where I usually have to chat?
I think that's the part he was referring to.
Well, it's the stuff that he's saying on chat. Not caps. And there comes the first Hellion. Without them, or barracks.
Doesn't need turbo barracks to be a danger, however, there's a lot of... Oh! Phalanx were going into that particular building, but they got cleared out by the flamethrower.
Nice.
From the dragon tank.
Yeah, thus far it seems that MP and medics have the advantage here.
I wouldn't necessarily say that.
No, on the other hand, they may have the advantage in the middle, but the top north and the bottom south are controlled by the opposite team.
Yeah.
Unchallenged thus far. Ooh, firewall.
Yeah, and that dragon tank is clearing out the trash, basically.
Wait, what? Oh no, no way, ever? What? If you would say Apache, oh. What is he dropping?
Deploying troops.
What is what dropping?
Jeopards. And another deployment zone is being built up as well.
Oh, Mr. Skittles.
Yes. Cast check. There. It doesn't work. What? What?
Troll failed.
I guess. Actually, you're right, it doesn't show up. Because it does show up on my Doomie bot. Chat. Right side. See the two Hellions? Something happened here.
Yeah, they killed a dog. Meanwhile, Maddox continues to do some damage with his dragon tanks.
Doomie bot is down. He can't be down. Gonna disconnect. and
Maybe
then
he's on.
reconnect.
Maybe he's on strike.
I hope not. But yeah, money check.
It looks like homemade. In what regard? CCCP, that is.
Homemade. Something that you made. Something that wasn't stock, I guess.
I guess you could say that. Yes.
Homemade Heinz. Medics is sitting at just over 1,000. Skittles is sitting just over 1,000. Basilisk is sitting. Wait, Basilisk? Okay,
Yeah.
I thought that these two would actually team up, Basilisk and Medics. But oh well.
No.
And then P 5,000 money. And we've got a mine drop over here.
Where was the mine dropped?
Next to the Overlord tanks.
Where are the Overlord tanks? Oh, there. Okay.
South.
Yeah, I see.
South.
I was under the impression you meant the ECA mine.
No, I was referring to the Chinese mine.
Yeah, you may want to differentiate between the two by calling the Chinese one the cluster mines, which is what they are called.
Cluster mines.
Yes, because it's one big bomb that dispenses a lot of clusters that then act as mines.
Ah.
That Warhound met its end, although not before laying down two demolition charges. In come the Tigers. Although there is a Gatling tank on one of those Overlords,
Yep.
which does not respond to the attack, which is a bit of a dupe.
Yep. But there comes a Twin Fang.
Yep,
Pulp, pulp.
which
Double kill.
shot. Yeah, splash damage on the flak cannons does that.
Yes, that hurts quite a lot. Right. Somehow I have a feeling that both players should go for the Venom in this case.
It would certainly be very useful since they aren't hindered by terrain as much as the other two, yes?
That's exactly why. Especially since there is water on this map and they can just fly over everything. But then again, China is going with a heavy armor. And Russia...
Always has heavy armor by default.
True, but I can't really see anything that he's gonna he's using at the moment in terms of general points.
That's also a bit of a stalemate right now, because this map doesn't really allow for a lot of maneuvering due to the fact that there's so many hills and mountains all over the place.
Yeah, but that's the fun of it. Right, what is getting dropped at the deployment zone this time? 4 Venoms, oh boy.
This is our final destination,
4 Venoms.
guys.
Yacht mammoths.
Yak mammoths, oh boy.
Yeah, well, if your opponent has big tanks, that's the way you respond to it. And I just heard a little bleep, which means that Jaeger is being annoying as ever, and which he is in the mid-north.
Yeah, well Boris
He was
is,
getting supplies.
Boris is getting his ass handed to him in the south. And he just died.
Yep, I see that.
Hunter missed my comment. Shame. The comment was...
Which particular comment? Because the only one that I responded to was the... oh wait, yeah.
ECM tanks looks like a Pope mobile with
That's
antennas.
antennas.
Wonder if the Swiss Guard is operating it. Mrs. Luna, I'm gonna give you a purge for that. We're done with your questions. This is not the time or place to ask these kind of questions. Right. And a single marksman.
First Hinds have entered the playing field.
Yep, makes as well.
Nice kill on those two tigers, which were bunched up for that one high MiG.
Oh yeah, beautiful. The Chamois should be amphibious for ironic reasons.
I think if the Shenlong attempted to turn, it would probably just sink to the bottom.
It's like the golem.
Yeah, except the Golem has some floaties.
Yeah. Well, there are some connection issues with MP at the moment, so it seems.
Yeah, I believe also MP is actually from the Middle East. If it's the same MP that I'm thinking of, and then
PTM, yes.
yeah, which obviously the internet connections there aren't as good as in other parts of the world.
Nope. And this is why we don't do 2v2s. Usually.
Well, most of the time, yes.
And I see people already voting him out. Do you agree?
And somebody even says that he might have rage quit out of the game.
I voted.
Yeah, though it's a little bit pointless to vote for that, because if he's out of the game, then we might as well end the game.
We're gonna see what happens. Go gadget nuclear launch site.
It would be a very big gadget to have in your pocket.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess he did rage quit after the tigers. But his medic's going alone. Well, he's finding a combined tank force here of Skittles and Basilisk.
Yeah,
No,
I would
just-
actually say we can quit down and see if we can get another 1v1 rolling, because this is not going to be very fair.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he did rage quit.
There's no point in speculating about that, but regardless, he dropped out of the game, so we wouldn't be able to continue properly anyway.
Oh, mortar track. Yeah, I don't think that this is gonna do that much for medics. I'm seeing... Oh. Inferno cannons and mix trying to do some damage over here.
I have already left the game, by the way.
You know what? I agree. Let's not waste any more time. Oh man, I haven't seen that guy in a while. And there he is. And Miso, I think Miso already played the first match.
I would say, yeah, let someone else come in, and if nobody else jumps in within the next 2 minutes or something, that means we're gonna have a run out of run for all I care.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna do a 1 versus 1 lawnmower. We only have about 20 minutes left.
Yep.
For night witches it would need frogfoots. Dremel already played. Miso, you played already. Duke Wendy, there you go. Duh. Yeah, he knows that. He's say hi to your mom. Flashfire. Or Forgotten Forest. Sure. And Miso, the rule still applies. If you've already played, you don't jump in again unless I say otherwise. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sorry, Bundy. Luckily, you don't have to play. I can imagine that, CCCP. Right, so we've got Gla versus Russia.
I'm not sure if you would want to have a child develop in your lower end of your body in the course of 2 hours and then actually also birth said child. I don't think that would be very pleasant.
Well, this will be out then.
Yeah, that,
I mean, carrying a 8-pound abomination in your stomach.
abomination is a bit of a harsh word in my opinion.
Well, some people unfortunately have an abomination.
You do realize you were once one of them, right?
I still am.
How to buff the baby progress? Yeah, you just open up the INI file and just double the production speed. Or half, rather.
Yeah, make it half. I'm sorry, CCCP. I couldn't resist. But making baby is fun and a lot faster. I agree with you there. The process of making the baby is a lot of fun. But after that it just becomes tedious, I can imagine. If I look at my sister, who's had 2, I can imagine it just gets a little tedious.
It's also fun for one of my colleagues when he actually got his girlfriend pregnant. They immediately had twins on the first time.
Ouch.
Yep.
Well, that happens.
And I just joked to him that he was a good sharpshooter.
Or erase.exe. Maybe you need the seat cleaner. The child cleaner.
Why it took so long to get the GLA Stinger soldiers? Because it was a very spontaneous decision to actually give them those.
Actually,
But
that
yeah,
wasn't a
but
dumb
yes.
question.
But yes, if you have questions, feel free to ask them on the forum. And then I or somebody else will probably respond to it fairly quickly.
Handy, we don't have any navy in the game anymore. So your dream will be shattered before it even starts.
Yeah, the Navy units have been discontinued. You can still download a map pack which allows you to access the old ones, but will not be adding any new ones or developing that particular feature any further.
I don't know what's up with Ankbot here.
Is it broken?
It's not displaying the...
Or maybe it has to do with the hiccup that we had earlier today when we wanted to start the stream as well.
I don't know. Okay, see you later, Dutchie, and also War Maniac.
Yep, good night.
Sleep and such. It's not even 10 o'clock here. Oh yeah, but you have to get up at like 6, right?
I wouldn't know.
What? Gwendy captures the oil derrick. Both of them.
It's gonna provide him with an advantage.
Yep. BMP heading down south. Nutrition research. 25% less production time for the baby. Cost 2,500 required. Research facility and 3 barracks. A lot of owls on the map. Yep. Guess you can say it's Owl City. We just need 10 million fireflies.
And Noah Main has recaptured the bottom oil, the derrick.
I know this is that, but he did lose his BMP. One is going up here. Chemical lab. I always have a parody of the song Fireflies. It has something to do with emos. So I'll just end it right there.
Well, the supply truck put up a decent fight, but looks like the quad cannon won.
Just one. Ah, we got Tesla. Now at least I can have a good night's sleep, because at least I saw some Tesla tonight.
You could always, in case of emergency, you could just go to YouTube and type in Tesla coil, and you'll find plenty of stuff to look at.
Yeah, but not in game. Fireflies has mad props.
And a single barrage of 2 missiles from that bird unit was enough to wipe it out.
Yeah, but it also did some damage to the structure here.
Yeah, though that's neglectable amount of damage.
Seeing a lot of infantry move over. Oh, that's the angry mob. Was the quad buff the rise of the Reds?
Nope.
It's always been that good.
Some concepts got set on fire due to the burning trees. Since there's a lot of shrubberies on that particular field there. And if infantry are too close to those trees, they can be set on fire.
The short thing next to the name of the several people like Soras is the mod status. That they are chat moderators. They have some power in chat to basically make sure that if you say something stupid, they can kick you in the balls. Or as I like to say, hit the nuts!
What if it's a woman? Yeah, that's something that requires some thinking, huh?
Well, some women have other balls. We can kick him in there. Yeah, Russia's moving in. Scudstorm! What? Since when? Oh, here.
Well, since a couple of seconds ago, to be exact.
In Doomhammer's world, the women have balls. Ew! Well, not in the literal matter of speech. In the ovaries?
Yeah.
In the eggs? Yeah, you can say that. In the ovaries. Yeah, this is over. I think too much time and effort.
Well, Gwendy was just too passive. You don't stay passive when you have a Russian opponent, because if you allow them to build up, this happens.
Yeah.
They'll just develop a steam machine and they will just roll over everything you hold dear, including your cat and your dog.
What about the kitchen sink?
They'll roll over that too.
No!
That would be a pretty high kick.
Oh, I can kick pretty high.
You have been defeated.
Mines weren't even necessary. Right. That's from Hecthor. I think that's going to be doing it for us today. Yeah. That's it for today, this week. For those that are interested, I will have to be working every single day of next week, Monday until Friday, so no midweek stream, unfortunately. I don't know what I'm going to be doing in the weekends. My parents did say something about a possible barbecue, so that's also might not happen a stream on Saturday. But if I'm able, I will be back on Sunday for another Rise of the Red stream.
Yep.
So I thank everyone for watching. Hunter, thank you once again for joining us.
Yes, it was fun as always.
I hope you enjoyed it on YouTube. Leave a like if you enjoyed this. My name is Hecthor Doomhammer. I'm your evil overlord, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye.